Hi, and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com, coming to you for your personal growth and spiritual development, witnessing the world. And this week's been a week of ups and downs, both in my personal life, stuff that's just going on here and back in the UK, the sorts of stuff that's going on in everybody's life really, but also in Thailand there's been this massive adventure disaster, which is these 12 young lads from a Thai football team who got lost in caves in Chiang Mai area, Chiang Rai, and they've had experts from all over the world, divers, Navy SEALs, helicopter pilots, all sorts of mountaineers and potholing experts, trying to find them because they went on a adventure as a celebration after a football match with their coach, 12 teenagers, boys, and their coach, and ended up getting stuck in the monsoon in a cave that was 2 miles underground. I think they ended up in a flooded cave and then tried to get out and went further in and further in and further in, and only by virtue of the fact that they left their bicycles at the entrance did they find them, and they've been there 10 days in the dark, and it'll probably be another 10-20 days before they can get them out. Thankfully, thank God, thank the universe, they're safe. Must be really scary for those boys, but when they found them, incredibly, they were very mature. They it's been all over the television. If you YouTube or Google the cave disaster in Thailand, you'll see the footage. And when the lads were found, they were so polite, they were so grateful, they weren't in a bad way. They'd managed to keep their balance, and that's a massive, massive credit to them, because I know that if I was stuck in the dark with no food, uncertain outcome, not fresh water, no bed, and I was a teenager, I'd absolutely be in a right mess when I was 12 years old. Now, as an adult, with the techniques I teach and preach and know and apply within my own life, I'd be able to cope with that quite well. But at their age, it's just magnificent that they've done it. And ask yourself the same question: if you were underground, trapped in a cavern in monsoon weather with litres and gallons of water coming in, rising tides, rising water from the hills, in a confined space, in the dark, no food, no fresh water, how would you feel? And when you were found, what state would you be in? We tend to allow ourselves to get in all sorts of states of mind, states of being. We allow external things to influence us. There's a fantastic expression that I used to use a lot in my workshops. It's a question more than an expression, and then I used to teach off the back of it. And the question was, and still is, what's most important? How you feel, or what you know? Now think about that. What's most important? How you feel, or what you know? A lot of people know a lot of stuff. A lot of people seek knowledge. A lot of people are quite learned. They've learnt all sorts of things. They think they're quite clever. Smart-arsed, if you pardon the expression, some people. And what's that knowledge doing for them? What's all that cleverness doing for them? Maybe they've got good jobs, maybe not. Maybe they've got big incomes, maybe not. Maybe they've got lots of possessions and status, maybe not. But what's it doing for them? How do they feel? It's no good having all those things, status, possessions, stuff, bank balance, if you don't feel okay. So I would say that the most important thing is how you feel. And how would you feel if you're in that cave? How would you feel if you've just been to the doctor today and got a diagnosis that's not the one you expected, it's not favourable? How would you feel if you just lost a massive investment, or if a relationship was coming to an end, or you just lost a loved one? How would you feel if you were being victimised or abused or people were taking advantage of you? Because these are things that happen in everyday life, and some of those things are the things that are going on in my life at the moment and have done probably for the last 20, 30 years. And possibly in your life, and you've got similar stories, or you know people with similar stories. And it doesn't really matter what you know, how do you feel? And then what do you do with that? Now, I teach and preach lots of techniques to maintain balance, irrespective of what's going on the outside. Those boys in the cave, incredibly, very maturely, managed to do whatever they've been taught, either with their mentor, their team coach, or from their families, or through their education system, their schooling, probably through their Buddhist beliefs, through church, temple here, to be able to keep a presence of mind, keep a balance, probably keep the faith that they were going to be rescued, and they were rescued. They're not out yet, and they're still keeping the faith until the day they see sunlight again. Whatever's going on in your life and whatever's going on in my life, sure as eggs are eggs, we will see sunlight. None of this will kill us, unless it does. But even if it does, I believe we're eternal and we'll reincarnate into something better as we transform in our next evolution. That's another story. But how you feel is really significant. And where do your feelings come from? It's from your thoughts. Your thoughts create feelings. Thoughts are things, and feelings are a response to those things that you're thinking about. A thought is a cause, and the way that you feel is an effect. I recommend that we take a lesson from these 12 lads, and if you haven't heard that story, Google it or YouTube it, as I say, and just watch that moment when two brave British divers and potholers, caving experts, find those lads with the torchlight and shine a torch in their face for the first time in 10 or 12 days, and see how courteous they are, and see at 12, 13, 14, whatever age they are, young teenagers, how they were able to communicate in English, courteously, politely. And how many things in our life do we lose the plot over? Those children weren't childish, they were childlike. How many times do we become very childish? We spit our dummies out, we allow things to get to us, and we lose our control. We feel really turbulent, and we respond in turbulent ways and make ourselves ill, sick to death in a lot of cases. I've witnessed this and I've really learnt from this, and I've spent quite a lot of time in temple myself this week and got all sorts of insights and revelations about the way to live, the way I should be living, my peace of mind, my balance, my equilibrium, not allowing things on the outside, external circumstances that are presented to me in my life to change my core values, my balance, my energy, my state of health, my state of body, my state of mind. I'm prepared to teach and share those techniques with you professionally or as a friend, just with a conversation. But as I witness what goes on in the world, the universe is presenting lessons to me, and if you just turn off some of the trash that's on television and get away from trashy people who are negative and take you to bad places and make you feel not so good being around them, and get around people that make you feel good, think things that make you feel good, enjoy things, eat things, listen to things, hear things, touch things that make you feel good, and respond in ways that are character building and positive and health giving and lovely and loving, that make you feel good, then that's far better than what you know or what you think you know about yourself. You can totally reinvent yourself through a process that I deliver, which is called Genesis, which is reinventing, recreating yourself. Genesis is all about genetics, personal health, re-engineering yourself, reimagining yourself, and becoming that new imagination of yourself. And I can only imagine how blessed those boys will be and how their families will receive them when they actually do come to the surface. Allow yourself to come to the surface, see the light, move towards the light, get away from dark people, and the things that are going on in your life at the moment, if they don't feel right, whatever academically it's doing for you, however safe you think you are in your comfort zone, your rut, it's worth shifting to get to a place where you feel good, because your feelings will always tell you whether something's right or wrong, and you can control your feelings as well. If you're interested in this and you want to know more, you know where I am. My name's Mike from mrmikegarner.com, and you can contact me on any of the contact details where you're viewing this presentation. And I'm going to continue to witness the world. I recommend that you do, because there's lots of lessons to be learnt. God bless.